The packing happened slowly. Not because there was much to pack, there wasn't, but because each thing was considered before it went into the little canvas bag that lay open on the kitchen table. Spare pairs of woolen socks, folded once, then again. Better to be safe than sorry. There was nothing worse than chilly toe beans. Then books with soft covers and slightly bent corners. In went one on monster trucks, another on jousting, and then one on cakes and baking. A handkerchief that smelt faintly of lavender and soap, and mittens and scarves. Oh, and a small deck of cards, and a few marbles went clinking in for good measure. A small tin of biscuits, just in case. Berry placed the custard creams inside carefully, and placed some kitchen paper on top, so they wouldn't rattle and break. Nothing worse than dipping crumbly biscuits into warm milk, thought Berry to himself. He patted the lid to make sure it was properly shut. Floyd held the bag steady, while Caratina tucked the woolen socks into the side pocket so they wouldn't wrinkle. Then finally, with great care and attention, in the other side pocket, Caratina eased in their curly straws. Millie Moonbeam checked the knot on the string twice, then once more just to be certain. Rosco watched from the doorway, paws comfortably resting on his tumblington. "Well," he said at last, "I think that's us just about ready." Berry's ears lifted. "Rosco," he asked, "will it feel very different?" Rosco smiled. "A little," he said, "but different doesn't mean difficult." Outside, the day was calm and open. The sky was blue and the village lane lay quietly, as though it knew something pleasant was about to happen and didn't want to interrupt. As they pulled the cottage door to, the door-knocker rattled a farewell. Rosco turned the key, checked it once, then once again, just in case, and the bunnies set off. The bus stop sat at the edge of the lane, beside a low mossy stone wall and a wooden bench that had been smoothed by many years of sitting. The bunnies climbed up and waited, paws resting on knees, ears flicking now and then as a breeze passed by. "Who are we staying with again?" Floyd asked. "My Aunty Reenie Nectarine," Rosco replied. "She lives in Twigglesford, just beyond the hills." "She makes delumptious pies," Caratina said helpfully. "She does indeed," said Rosco. "Delectable and whisker-licking good." The bus arrived on time and with a warm smile from the driver. As the bus came to a gentle stop, it sighed as though puffed out from the journey. Its doors folded open like a polite greeting, inviting the bunnies on board. "Hello there, bunnies. Off to Twigglesford?" asked the bus driver. "Yes, we are. We're visiting my Aunty Reenie Nectarine." The driver grinned. "Well, be sure to give her my best regards, and thank her for the leek and potato pie she baked me, won't you? I had it for my lunch yesterday. Gert lush it was." "Of course I'll tell her." The bunnies clambered up, and inside the seats were soft and slightly springy. They settled together near the window, the canvas bag placed carefully on the seat next to them. As the bus moved off, the village slipped past. Nash's bakery, the green gate, the bend in the road where the oak tree stood, until soon it was all behind them. Berry pressed his nose gently to the glass. The hedges grew taller, the fields widened, The road curved and dipped, and the bus hummed steadily beneath them. No one spoke for a while. It was the kind of cosy quiet, as they rocked and swayed in their seats, that didn't need filling. Eventually, Floyd said, "It feels like the countryside is changing." "Yes," Millie Moonbeam agreed, "like pages in a wonderfully colourful book." When the bus finally stopped again, the air smelled different. Saltier. Wider. Twigglesford was smaller than their village, but it felt open in a different way. The houses were closer together and of a yellower stonework, but arranged in a horseshoe shape around a pleasant green lawn. Beyond them, just visible at the end of the road, the sea rested patiently, its deep blue calming, but at the same time captivating and enchanting. Aunty Reenie Nectarine was waiting. She wore a soft blue apron dusted lightly with flour, and her fur was the warm colour of toasted oats. Her whiskers curved gently upwards even when she wasn't smiling, which wasn't often. "There you are," she said, opening her arms. The bunnies stepped into the embrace, one by one, and found it was exactly the right size. Inside her cottage, the air was warm and welcoming. Something was baking, something buttery. Shoes were lined neatly by the door. Coats were hung and smoothed. The canvas bag was placed by the table. Come in," said Aunty Reenie Nectarine. "You must be travel-tired." The room they would sleep in was small and snug, with a low window and a patchwork quilt folded at the foot of each bed. The quilts were all different colours, but all equally soft. Berry pressed his paw into one and smiled. That evening passed gently. They ate warm pies, of course they did, filled with vegetables and fragrant herbs. The pies were topped with a crust that flaked just enough to endow Whiskers with crumbs. Afterwards they sat together, while the light outside softened and the sound of the sea made its way in through the open window. When bedtime came, it arrived kindly. Berry noticed the sounds first, the distant hush of waves, a seagull calling, then quiet again, the house settling into itself. "It sounds like the world breathing," he whispered. Rosco tucked the blankets carefully around each bunny. "It's just saying good night in its own way," he said. As the lights were lowered, Aunty Reenie Nectarine paused at the door. "Sleep well," she said. "Tomorrow the sea will still be there." The room grew quiet. The bunnies lay still, listening. The day had carried them somewhere new, and held them gently when it arrived. All was snug. All was well. Night, night.